Do you remember the first time you surfed the internet? Chances are, you were using Internet Explorer. This iconic web browser, developed by Microsoft, made its debut in the mid-90s, in the year 1995 to be precise, and quickly became a popular choice for people worldwide. Internet Explorer, often abbreviated as IE, was born in an era when the World Wide Web was still in its infancy, and the majority of people were just beginning to explore its vast potential. The launch of Internet Explorer marked a significant milestone in the history of the Internet, setting the stage for a new era of digital innovation and connectivity. What set Internet Explorer apart from its competitors at the time was its user-friendly interface. It was designed with simplicity and ease of use in mind, making it accessible to even the most novice of Internet users. The browser's simplicity didn't compromise its functionality. It offered a host of features that made web browsing a breeze. One of these was tabbed browsing, a feature that may seem commonplace today, but was revolutionary at the time. It allowed users to keep multiple web pages open in the same window, switching between them with ease. This was a game changer, allowing for a more streamlined and efficient browsing experience. Another standout feature was its built-in search engine. This meant users didn't have to go to a separate website to conduct a search. They could simply type their query into the address bar and hit enter. It was features like these that made Internet Explorer a force to be reckoned with in the early days of the Internet. But perhaps the most significant aspect of Internet Explorer's initial appeal was its seamless integration with the Windows operating system. Being a Microsoft product, it was bundled with Windows, making it the default browser for millions of users worldwide. So, Internet Explorer started as a promising contender in the Internet world, but how did it evolve? Stay with us to find out. As the Internet grew, so did Internet Explorer. This period could be described as the golden era of Internet Explorer. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Internet Explorer was riding the wave of its own success. It was during this time that Internet Explorer introduced features that would become standard in web browsing. It was a time of innovation and growth, and Internet Explorer was at the forefront. One of the key milestones during this period was the introduction of tabbed browsing in 2001 with Internet Explorer 6. This feature allowed users to open multiple web pages in the same window, switching between them with ease. It was a game changer, bringing a new level of convenience and efficiency to web browsing. Also notable was Internet Explorer's increasing support for web standards. This was a crucial development, as it allowed for more consistent and functional websites. Developers could now create sites that would look and function the same, no matter the browser used to access them. The early 2000s also saw the peak of Internet Explorer's popularity. At its zenith in 2002, it commanded an impressive 95% market share. It was the browser of choice for most Internet users, and with good reason. Its user-friendly interface, wealth of features, and compatibility with Windows made it an easy and convenient choice. But the golden era wasn't just about success and growth. It was also a time of fierce competition. Rival browsers like Netscape Navigator and later, Firefox and Chrome, were starting to make their mark. And while Internet Explorer was leading the pack, these competitors were swiftly catching up, offering innovative features and improved performance. While this period marked the peak of Internet Explorer, it was also the beginning of its downfall. Let's explore why. Despite its early success, Internet Explorer began to fall behind in the mid-2000s. In the ever-evolving world of technology, stagnation is akin to regression. Unfortunately, that's precisely what happened to Internet Explorer. While it had solidified its position as the go-to browser in the late 90s and early 2000s, its inability to adapt and innovate led to its eventual decline. One of the primary reasons was the rise of formidable competitors. Mozilla Firefox, launched in 2004, offered a fresh, streamlined browsing experience, while Google Chrome, introduced in 2008, boasted speed, simplicity, and security. Both browsers rapidly gained popularity, offering features that Internet Explorer lacked or struggled to implement. Another significant blow to Internet Explorer was its slow response to emerging web standards. As web developers started to adopt new technologies like HTML5 and CSS3, Internet Explorer was often criticized for its lack of support or inconsistent implementation. This led many developers to abandon Internet Explorer, instead focusing their efforts on more compatible browsers. In addition, Internet Explorer suffered from a tarnished reputation due to its notorious security issues. Over the years, it became a prime target for hackers and malware, leading to a perception that it was less secure than its competitors. Microsoft's lack of significant updates and improvements also contributed to Internet Explorer's decline. While other browsers were regularly introducing new features and performance enhancements, Internet Explorer updates were few and far between. This lack of innovation made it difficult for Internet Explorer to keep pace with the rapidly changing digital landscape. The final nail in the coffin, however, was the rise of mobile browsing. Internet Explorer struggled to carve out a strong presence in the mobile domain, and with the increasing shift towards smartphones and tablets, it was left trailing behind. As Internet Explorer's popularity decreased, Microsoft made a decision that would mark the end of an era. But as we'll see in our next scene, the story doesn't end here. Stay tuned as we delve into the final chapters of Internet Explorer's journey. In 2015, Microsoft announced the launch of Microsoft Edge, effectively replacing Internet Explorer. The tech world held its breath as the baton was passed from the browser that had once dominated the web. Microsoft Edge was not merely a new version of Internet Explorer, it was a complete overhaul, a fresh start designed to compete with the likes of Google Chrome and Firefox. Equipped with a sleek new design and better compatibility with modern web technologies, Microsoft Edge was clearly a step into the future. Unlike Internet Explorer, Edge was built on the Chromium platform, an open-source project that powers many of today's browsers. This pivot allowed Microsoft to keep pace with the rapidly evolving internet landscape. But how did it compare to Internet Explorer? Well, in terms of speed and performance, Edge had the upper hand. It was faster, more efficient, and boasted a clutter-free, user-friendly interface. It offered a range of features such as reading mode, annotation tools, and integration with Cortana, Microsoft's digital assistant. However, despite these advancements, Edge struggled initially to gain traction. Many users, particularly business users, clung to Internet Explorer due to its legacy support for older web technologies. But all good things must come to an end. In 2021, Microsoft announced that it would end support for Internet Explorer 11, the last remaining version of the browser. This decision was met with a mix of nostalgia and relief. Nostalgia for the browser that once held a near monopoly on web browsing, and relief for the web developers who had long struggled with its outdated technology. The decision to end support for Internet Explorer wasn't taken lightly. It was a clear signal from Microsoft that it was time to move on, to embrace the future of the web with Microsoft Edge. Users were encouraged to migrate to Edge, which included a feature to import data from Internet Explorer, ensuring a seamless transition. So this marked the end of an era for Internet Explorer, but its legacy lives on. Internet Explorer may no longer be in active development, but its influence on the web is undeniable. It played a significant role in shaping the internet as we know it today, and for that, it will always hold a place in the annals of tech history. Though it may no longer be in use, Internet Explorer has left a lasting impact on the internet as we know it today. Internet Explorer, the once reigning monarch of the browser kingdom, may have faded into the background, but its influence is still felt across the digital landscape. Its legacy is a testament to its pioneering role in the early days of the internet. When it comes to web standards, Internet Explorer played a significant role. It was one of the first browsers to implement CSS, a cornerstone of modern web design. In many ways, Internet Explorer set the stage for the rich, interactive websites we enjoy today. Its early support for dynamic HTML and JavaScript paved the way for the dynamic, interactive web content we take for granted in our current digital age. The influence of Internet Explorer extends beyond web standards. It served as a blueprint for the development of other browsers. It introduced features like tabbed browsing and built-in search, which are now considered fundamental in modern browsers. Its competitors learned from its successes, and yes, even its failures. They built upon its innovative features, emulated its user-friendly interface, and worked to overcome its shortcomings. Despite its decline, Internet Explorer still finds its use, particularly in older versions of Windows. There's a certain charm to the nostalgia it brings, a reminder of the early days of the web. For some, it's a tool they've grown comfortable with, a familiar friend in the ever-changing digital landscape. In the grand scheme of things, Internet Explorer was a trailblazer. It helped shape the internet as we know it, pushing the boundaries of what a browser could do. It brought the world closer together, one web page at a time. It made the internet more accessible, more interactive, and more user-friendly. As we've seen, Internet Explorer has had a remarkable journey, from its rise to prominence, to its decline, and finally to its lasting legacy. It's a story that reminds us of the constant evolution of the digital world.